The first 5 years are packed with play-based learning. Each child grows at their own pace, but not hitting certain milestones by preschool age may cause them to have trouble in a school setting. So tell me, Dr. Adele, what should a preschooler be able to do?
All right. I think the preschool years are really rewarding years. So your toddler has grown up to a stage where they become a bit more independent. They're more communicative, so they can express their thoughts a little bit better. They're inquisitive and really lovely creatures to be around. They I always find the inquisitiveness quite, amusing or interesting. That's where that 1,001 questions, but why come in.
Yeah.
I see the world from it helps us see the world again from a different point of view, and re-experience, all that very interesting, younger years. A preschooler also, that's the years in which a child develops a sense of self. So they learn who they are and where they belong in this world. They know whether they're a boy or a girl, how old they are, what their preferences, and certainly what their dislikes are.
Yes.
A preschooler, they can be quite concrete as well in their thinking. So certainly if they don't like something, or they don't like something that they think is not the way, or they see something in a different way from you, it can be quite hard, to reason with them beyond that point. So normally preschoolers are, that's the age where you develop an understanding of rules and boundaries and this and that. So most of the time preschool is quite easy to handle from that point of view, but if it's not going their way, it can also be quite hard to get beyond that stage
or
of
if
thinking.
mum or dad are breaking the rules. Let us know at that age. And it's like, oh, I can't do that thing anymore because I'm getting in trouble with my own child.
So that's not. It's almost that age where, but the teacher said, so, which I'm sure most parents
love hearing that.
Yeah.
You've got to recycle, Mum. Our teacher told us we had to recycle. You can't throw that in the
throw
other
that
bin.
away. That's right.
That's right.
So the preschooler, so they're not quite there yet, but those years are coming. All right. So from a social development here, a point of view, the preschool years are when children start developing, friendships. So the peers become quite important to them. So they start interacting. So in the younger years, children tend to play in parallel, whereas in the preschool years, they start actually interacting with each other. And they also use a lot of imagination in their play, which I always find really fascinating to watch, Yeah.
It's beautiful to watch this age.
Yeah, it's very rewarding. I think it's a very rewarding age. So then, so your other motor milestones from a speech perspective, preschoolers should be able to have a conversation with a preschooler. They should understand probably a little bit more than basic, questions. They should be able to tell you a story in some detail. The parents will hopefully understand the child at that age, but the pronunciation should be clear enough that other people can understand the child. Fine motor perspective, so preschoolers love drawing, painting, building Lego, trying to cut with scissors. They should be able to do all of that at a basic level. And then from a gross motor perspective, they're really agile, probably more so than what I am. So love running, climbing, hopping, skipping, jumping, should probably be able to ride on a bike with trainer wheels. So that's more or less in a nutshell,
where they should be at.
Developmental milestones,
It is a fun age where they're doing everything.
Absolutely.
And they don't have a nap anymore usually at that age either.
Yeah.
So it makes the time.
So you don't always have that break in the middle of the day. That's right.
You've got to keep busy the whole time.
Yeah.
So what if your preschooler isn't quite meeting those milestones? When's it a cause to be concerned?
What do we normally recommend? The first point of call is normally to talk to your GP or child health nurse, because each child develops at their own pace, so the children don't read the books, so they don't necessarily know what they should be doing at that age or not. It might be a simple, check in with a professional and see whether it's still on track or not. Sometimes they will recommend further on referrals, and sometimes watch and wait, could be an acceptable approach. The next step would be to make sure that they can hear and see well. So most children with speech delay or children that struggle with social interactions need to have a hearing test, and that can either be organised by your GP or paediatrician or any health professional really. Then if it's a simple developmental issue such as a pronunciation difficulty or difficulties with handwriting, and it's just one thing, a lot of the allied health professionals can help with that, so referral to either speech, OT or physio might be good. We do tend to find that if a child struggles in one area, they do often struggle in more than one field. So the children that have more complex difficulties or struggle in more than one area will definitely benefit from seeing a paediatrician. So a referral, asking your GP for a referral to a paediatrician might benefit your child.
Definitely.
And we would certainly do quite an in-depth and wide developmental assessment to make sure all the milestones are on par. Yeah.
And that's where you also go, right, I think you should go and see a speech pathologist, right? I think you need to see, and you're kind of that pivotal point for a parent to make it a lot easier.
Yeah, that's core part of our work is to coordinate care for children that have that slightly more complex needs. I do normally prefer it if the kids come and see us and then we tell the parents or the therapist, okay, this is the area that they struggle in, could you please target this? Or we discuss it with the parents and say, okay, listen, don't just go for speech therapy or occupational therapy, you need to know what you're working towards, so we often discuss that with the parents and make sure that they have goals towards therapy.
Because otherwise you're sort of running blind, and that's where
it can be very wide and very non-specific. You need to know what you're working towards. Otherwise you can't reach a goal if you don't know what the goal is.
Very, very true. So is there anything that parents can do to aid their child's development?
The most important thing is to provide a loving and safe environment for the child. Children thrive in under love, or if they receive love and a safe space to grow up in. So that's the most important thing. Then spending time with your child. So I would always say put down, the electronic devices, make sure that you give quality attention and time to your child. Go outside, kick the ball around in the park, or go for a walk or to the beach. So time outside that you dedicate towards your child. Inside time such as drawing, painting, building blocks, and especially reading. So that's stuff that you can just do on a basic level that help the development of any child. It's also important to create opportunities where your child can learn how to interact with other children. So in these day and age, we often have small core families. So it's important to provide opportunities outside of especially if you're just a small nuclear family with maybe just one sibling or no siblings, that the child have that opportunity to interact with other children. So they learn that sort of social rules through play, lots of fighting, but that's how they establish, the pecking order and the rules, and learn to understand that. So create opportunities for your child to play with others. So go to family or friends. If that's not an option, then I would say try and find a play group, go to the library for story time, go to the park, or daycare centre if none of the other options
work for you.
Yeah. So just that opportunities to learn how to interact with your child is really important.
Beautifully said.
Yeah, I think that's the most important. And love. Make sure that you are in an environment that's conflict-free, or as conflict-free as possible. Yeah, because
you can't love your children too much, right?
No, you cannot love or pay too much attention to your kids.
Yeah, beautifully said.
Yeah.
So I guess if your child is not hitting milestones at roughly the same time as their peers, or if your child is struggling to make friends, express their emotions, or if your child is showing signs of extreme shyness or aggression, it's certainly worth talking to a professional. So the experts at Townsville Paediatrics would love to support you. So please ask your doctor to refer you to see them and get in touch today.